I swear to God, I started seeing like behind the walls of the Matrix, like everything became pixelated, almost like code-like. And it was like a computer game. I bet loads of people have experienced this, to be fair. I felt like whatever I was seeing, I shouldn't be seeing. And I swear to God, since that day, I've been pretty convinced that we are actually a simulation. There's something electrical, like programming sort of vibes going on and why we're on Earth. And that's a topic for another day. But I saw something that I feel like I shouldn't have seen, that my brain connected into or saw when I was fucking tripping.
Ooh.
And I said to Ashley, the first thing I said was like, fuck, I've just seen something I shouldn't see. We are computers. And he was like, huh? I think you might be right.
Welcome to Crave the Rave, a naughty podcast for old school ravers who need a fix of the rave. I'm Lady Bizarre.
And I'm Jess the Mess. On each episode, we'll be reminiscing over hilarious, embarrassing, and downright mental stories from our raver days.
Think trippy tales, fezzy fails, and stories from the sesh.
We've seen, heard, and done it all. And we bet you have too.
So join us for a trip down memory lane. Yo, what is good? We are back with another episode of Crave the Rave. Got my girl Jess here. I'm Lara.
Yo.
What's going on, Jess?
All good. Not much to report this time. Fucking tired. Always tired. Tired with life. Tired of everything going on. Still, I'm actually getting about 10 hours sleep a night, but yeah, I've got a child in the bed with me, which makes me tired. She kicks and literally pushes me out the bed, which is hard work. But yeah, no, I'm all right. Can't complain. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that you sleep 10 hours a night. That is so wild to me.
We're such a sleeping household. Like, we sleep a lot. I could even just have a nap, like, whenever. The biggest thing for me is, like, I used to love plane journeys because I'd sleep like, the whole way, whatever it was. I don't need a sleeping tablet. I just sleep the whole way, whether it was Australia for 24 hours or whatever, I'd sleep the whole way. And now I have a child to travel with, and I've realised that actually now I get why people don't like travelling, because it's quite long. One thing I think about quite a lot is about when I travelled around India with Lucy and we did 36-hour train journeys. I swear to God, I slept the whole way, followed by like an 18-hour coach trip. I slept the whole way. She was so bored, and bless her, what a shit friend I was. I didn't see any of the culture. I didn't see anything through the windows. Every time I woke up, she was talking to a different fucking group of people. Said, my name's Lucy. I'm 24 and I work in advertising. And I thought, shut up, Lucy. I'm trying to sleep, and I'd roll back over and get some more kip. So, yeah, basically, I could probably do with a big, long travel on my own where I just sleep. I'll go all the way there, sleep, come back, sleep, and then I'll be all right. But yeah, I'm fucking exhausted.
Oh my God.
So,
You know
yeah.
what though? Like I am the same on transport. I don't need any sleeping pills. I just pass out. I'll be like, right, I'm awake now. Finally. They feed you on a plane, for example, and then I put a film on and I'm just gone again.
Oh, it's
Like it's so
lush.
annoying. But sometimes I want to be able to actually watch the film, and I'm annoyed that I'm like falling asleep during it because I'm like I can't even get fucking through the first half. But yeah, I'm the
But
same.
you're a
And
night out anyway. You are not a big sleeper. In fact, you survive on like minimal amount of sleep. If I had to survive on what you sleep on, I would die.
nah, you just get used to it, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't. No, I think our bodies are different. Bodies are different in many different ways. Some need more sleep than others, and you need far less sleep than I do.
Well, you know what? You know, obviously with my new job, like on a coach, you're not like being in charge. The one person who can't take a nap and can't fall asleep on that coach is me. Oh no, wait, the driver.
I couldn't do it.
The driver.
I couldn't do it.
Me and the driver. There's no way. Everyone else, I'm telling you now, they pass out for like most of the journey. So sometimes I'm there on the mic talking about like the history of this country, and I'm like, okay, I did a really good job of that. I'm talking for 20 minutes. Turn around, not a single fucking soul is listening. Everyone's asleep. I'm like, oh fuck it.
You're that boring. You sent them all to sleep.
I know I'm literally that fucking boring. So yeah, you're a sleepyhead. I'm not really. Anyway, how am I? How am I? How am I? I'm alright. I'm good. I had such a fun day yesterday. I haven't actually told you about it,
No,
have
you
I
haven't told
yet?
me anything. What did you get up to?
Oh my god. Okay, so I went to meet my mate Yazzie. Shout out to Yazzie. I know she listens. But yeah, she's my girl from London. Well, from England, but I met her in Mexico. Anyway, you haven't met her yet, but she's going to come to my birthday. So yes, I'm excited for that.
Sorry, this is another Yazzie. So there's Yazzie, Jazzy in your life, and
Yeah,
Jessie.
yeah.
Fucking hell.
I know a lot of people. You know what I
Right, so tell me
mean?
about this other mate, Yazzie.
Oh, you're getting jealous.
Woo! Got other mates.
getting getting jelly. All right. So, by the way, jelly is funny because Jessie. We've said this on the podcast before, but Jessie used to always try and get me and our friends and to call her Jelly instead of Jessie, which used to cringe me out. I was not on board. But then she'd meet these gangs of people at the rave or a festival, and then they'd all be like, Jelly, Jelly, I've got this for you or whatever. And I'd be like, oh my God, she's only gone and fucking told a whole group of people her name's Jelly and she's convinced them like to use it. Anyway, lol.
And if you were my mate, you would have fucking called me Jelly. Honestly,
It's
that actually
horrible.
it really disappointed me that you lot didn't give me the nickname Jelly.
You had a couple
Anyway,
people.
before we have a fucking Barney, tell me about your day yesterday with your new fucking mate, Jessie. Or what is her name?
Jessie, Jessie is a little slag in it. Little Jezebel.
Oh, don't call me that. No.
You wish.
Right, go on. Tell me all about your new best mate, Jazzy.
It's
Jelly.
Yazzie.
What the fuck is her name?
Yazzie.
Sorry,
With a
Yazzie.
Y. Anyway, it's Yasmin basically, but with a.
Well, I got that. Yeah. Okay. So Yazzie.
Well, clearly you didn't. You didn't get it at all, did you?
She sounds fucking great.
Anyway, so I met up with her. Anyway, what was so weird, first of all, is that like her man I'd never met before, she got a new guy. Turns out he lives in Wimbledon, right? Wimbledon, which is obviously where you and I grew up. Not only does she live in Wimbledon, when she sent me the address when I was like heading there, he literally lives 3 roads from my parents' house, right? She's from Kent. She's from Kent, so like it's quite weird. She's now dating a boy in London, 3 roads from my parents' house, where I used to do a fucking paper round. So that was a bit of a trip. So then I go round there. Anyway, then turns out he went to my old uni. He knows my ex-boyfriend. All this crazy weird synchronicity.
Wow.
I'm holding a little canvas bag with a Vincent van Gogh print on it from some little shop for some reason, which I thought was nice on my little France trip recently. And he had exactly the same print on a t-shirt. It was very, very weird.
On?
He had the t-shirt wearing it.
Yeah, that's fucked. That's mad.
I was like, this is so weird. Anyway, he was really, really nice. And then we went to the park. And basically, all I said to Yazzie was like, look, I'm down to do whatever. I just want to see you, like, catch up. We haven't seen each other for a year. But I have one thing that we need to work around. And that is I need to do this workout class in the park, like somewhere, anywhere, at 5:15 with my girl, Annika. All right. She was like, okay, we can figure it out. So she brought along her MacBook to the park, and then we sat down, we got our yoga mats, and her man had made a salad for us, which was really cute. And then, yeah, so we had a catch up, and then we did the workout, which was sick. She decided to leave 5 minutes in though and go for a pee, I think, in a cafe. And then I was doing this crazy, really intense, quite embarrassing workout in the middle of the park. I don't really care about these things, but it was one of those ones where it was like, I would have rather had a little bit of moral support, was because there was some quite weird little movements that I had to do. Then we finished our workout, and then she built a joint, and we were having a little session with the weed afterwards. And I just thought, oh, we had the best fucking time, like literally caught up, creasing the whole time, like laughing so much before the workout. Then we had our workout, which was like a health kick. Then
Nice.
we had our lovely joint. That wasn't part of the plan, but it was a nice bonus. Then we just laughed and laughed and laughed. And then we went to the pub and had a couple cocktails, and it was just so much fun. But it made me think, like, that is the epitome of balance. like literally, like having a proper workout. Like, I'm talking about sweating, like really putting everything into this workout. And then having a little joint, having a couple cocktails. Oh, actually, I forgot something. We got to the pub and they'd stopped serving food like 10 minutes before, which was long because we were stoned and being long and just like, yeah, dilly-dallying. We had to get KFC snack wraps delivered to the pub, and we ate them on the curb before coming back in. So it was all a bit random, really.
That was the best day ever. Fucking hell.
No, I'm telling you now, I've been feeling really like low, you know, like disappointed with this dating shit. She's like the biggest cheerleader, and we just laughed the whole fucking time. And the reason it was good and the reason it was a nice reflection is because I don't know, like I keep on meeting, especially I think I said this on the last episode. It's like I meet someone who's like proper straight and narrow, like thinks that like, you know, who've probably never even smoked a cigarette in their life, or
when dating, this is
in dating, yeah, or even actually in just social life. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how I
Yeah.
quite relate to you. Like, it's not that I can't, but it's just
Yeah.
in different, like, you know, it's like I then tell them I've got a podcast like this, and they're like, huh? Like, it's just another. They just think it's like they don't. It's like I'm speaking Chinese to them. It's like they're like, what? That I just don't just doesn't resonate with them at all, and I feel very like separated from them. Or then you meet, obviously, then you've got people in this world who take it too far and are just stoners all the time, or, you know, they're still like really hitting it hard. And I don't want that in my life. So it's just interesting. Anyway, I was just like, this is so nice to be like, yeah, you can, just because you smoke a joint, like whatever, here and there, doesn't mean that I don't know, like, it's just, I don't know, it was quite a nice example of like how you can have balance.
I get what you're saying, like, yeah, no, totally, I totally get it. Basically, you just like being a grown-up but still having a bit of fun, everything in moderation, and like, doing things properly. Like, I don't think you do need to completely give up raving or getting on it or smoking a spliff. Like, you don't have to give up everything or totally wipe everything out to have like a nice balanced life. You're right. You just need to do it in moderation and maybe in the right time, in the right setting.
Yeah.
We haven't got the energy to do it as we were, which was all weekend, every weekend, and we don't want to do that. And so, I can understand why that was a really nice day.
It was.
It sounds really fun.
I was just like, okay, I can be all of these things, you know. I don't have to fit into like one box. That's what I mean. It was just like, this is really wholesome.
Yeah.
And fun, you know?
Yeah, well, we had a similar...
Yeah. Go on.
We had a similar thing where it was like a few weeks ago, Ash and I went out and we were meeting our friends who had come over from Australia. It was like a work day, but I'm now self-employed. And we were up at a bar in King's Cross without baby D because she was with her grandma. And it was like at 12 p.m. and the pub garden had just opened. And we were there to have some lunch with our mates. And then we were like, hang on a minute, we could fucking have a drink. Like an actual drink. So like we go up to the bar and we get like a cocktail each. It's like literally bars just opened at 12. And then we were like, hang on a minute, we can have a few drinks. We don't have baby D tonight. And then we met up with our mates and they'd had a big one like 2 nights before and somebody got a bit of leftover K out. And I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. So we went to the park and it was like 3 p.m. and I just had a little crumb and then like it fucking made me wavy, but I was loving it. It wore off and then I went back home and I was a normal human being and I went to Pizza Express and was able to be like a mum again. And I was like, that was really nice. Just a tiny little bit of fun, a little dabble, knowing when to stop, not getting carried away, but still like feeling like me again. Like suddenly I was like, this is what I've always done quite well. Like socialised in a park with no responsibilities. And a bit of this and a bit of that. And suddenly I was like, reminded me that was me and that is me still. Yeah. Even if most of the time I'm fucking exhausted because I'm doing everything for everybody and being all this and that. But, you know, no, I had the similar experience. So I'm glad you had a really nice day.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this feels familiar. Yeah.
Well,
oh, thanks.
Yazzie sounds great. Let me fucking hang out with her one day.
She is fucking awesome. You're
only
joking,
only joking. This leads on quite nicely because I've got a messiest moment here from somebody, and I thought I'll read it out to you, and then we can talk about it and see where we go from there, if that's all right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been asking for messy moments, and actually, thank you guys because you have been messaging me messiest moments. I just haven't got my arse together enough to get these all out. So thank you for sending them in because we are going to start sharing more of your stories more regularly on the pod because we love hearing other people's raving stories as well. But this is just a funny one from Sarah. So let me read this to you. Okay, so she says, my moment is not cool. They're the moments that we want to hear. But we were at a mate's festival and it was God knows what time in the morning. And I made everybody who was sitting around the dwindling fire stop and shouted, there is a fucking Batman sign in the sky. Can you see it? I was convinced it was a Batman sign and someone was in trouble. It was the fucking sun coming up. My husband thinks this is a terrible story, but my friends love it. I've never lived this story down, but at the time I stopped the music and got everyone to listen because I legit thought it was a Batman sign in the sky. It's just so humiliating in many ways. I'm not a 10-year-old boy. Why would I see a fucking Batman sign in the sky?
Lol.
Why would you see a Batman? Have you ever had a thing where you've been like, had something going on in the day and then that's come into your trip afterwards?
Yes. Do you not remember the Boris Johnson and the zip wire on the zip wire?
Oh, yes. Yes, exactly
And
that.
I was also talking about another like presenter, like TV presenter when I was working in TV, over and over again, trying to tell someone a story, and I just kept looping on it, and they were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Just some actual bullshit. Yeah, so yeah, it happens a lot. Back in the day, it used to
I
happen.
remember there was a girl at uni, and that day before we'd gone out, I'd watched an episode of Friends. Have I said this before? It's really funny.
No, I don't
I'd watched
think
an
so.
episode of Friends, right? And then that night we went out, and there was a girl, and she was our mate, but she had taken too much, I think MD and K, and she'd absolutely spun her brain, right? She was awake, but she was almost like asleep, like the way that she was chatting shit. Anyway, what was really funny was as she was talking, she would just be sort of talking, not making much sense. She was quoting Friends, the episode that I'd seen that day, as though it was like happening, like live stream, like out of her mouth.
No.
But she must have watched that episode of Friends that day. She must have seen it before as well because it was stuck in her head. But I reckon she watched it that day. But because I'd watched it that day as well, I recognised it. So she was just coming out of like one-liners from that episode.
Oh my god.
But she was so away with it. She didn't know what the fuck she was saying. It was so funny. It was so funny. She came out with some of the funniest things that night that I've never forgotten. We were sort of like trying to manage her because she was off her fucking rocker. And she was like, we were sort of like trying to calm her down in her bedroom. And then we were sort of like taking it in turns sort of to have a bit of time with her because she was honestly off her rocker. She comes marching, when I was in the living room, she comes marching into the room where everyone's sitting and just like listening, chatting. She goes, oh, guys, am I 6'10"? Yeah, I'm 6'10". And go in and walk back and got into bed. And then she goes, and then someone had a hole in their sock, and she went, "Oh, I love people that have holes in their shoes. My mum buys me holes in my shoes.
Buys me holes in my shoes.
My mum buys me holes in my shoes."
Oh my god!
But anyway, have you ever had a moment like Sarah where you've actually thought you've seen something, or you've literally believed something, or you've tried to convince people of your trip?
Do you remember? You were there, so I'm sure you will. Do you remember on my birthday when I did my hippie birthday party?
Oh yeah.
So do you remember we all took 2CB? So I would have been, oh god, it was probably my 22nd, 23rd, something like that.
Yeah.
And we just had everyone in the park. Everyone was wearing like 60s style stuff. And I remember I had this 2CB that was left over from somewhere else. Everyone else had like a different type. So I was on my own trip and I took it, and it was so strong, so
Yeah.
intense. And I had to truly be like cared for. It was fine. It was just really intense. And so like I remember, do you remember that we had to like break out of the park?
Yeah. They closed the park around us. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all just fucked. We didn't realize. We were like,
Yeah.
shit. But basically, when we were sat in the middle of the park, as like the night came, I was so like convinced that all of the like orange street lamps around were a ring of fire around us, and it was closing in. And so like do you remember? Do you remember that I was freaking
Yeah,
out?
I remember you freaking out, yeah.
And I was going, oh my god, no, there's fire. We're never going to get out. Like there's a fire all the way around, like as if it was like a bushfire, basically. But like I wasn't just seeing it, I was convinced, and I was trying to tell people like we're not going to just be able to get out and climb over because of the fire. And you lot were like, no, it's okay, like there's no fire.
Yeah, no, I do remember that.
That was well intense,
Yeah.
and we all had, and then you had to try and get me over a huge fence, which
I think we had to like throw you and your handbag over the fence to get you out. You were not with it enough to like actually like hold on to something, hook yourself up, throw yourself over.
It was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. What about the time when I thought I was a spiritual witch after doing laughing gas and it triggered something in my very fucked brain, and I was absolutely convinced that you lot were all in on it and I was a spiritual witch and that I just found this out, but you lot all knew, and I was very paranoid because I felt like everyone's in on this and they're finally telling me the truth, and you guys were like, what are you on about? And I was like, guys, I know. And
What?
I remember, yeah, it was at Lucy's house and it was very, very messed up, really. But it was the only time I really was convinced of something, probably a bit like Sarah, where like I was convinced that I had become a spiritual witch and you lot all knew about it. I was just finding out for the first time. And I remember saying to Susie, like, you know. And then she like looked at like Ed, who was like, and she was like, what the fuck? And he's like, don't worry, she's just tripping. And I was like, I'm not, mate. I'm fucking serious. I'm a fucking spiritual witch and you know it, yeah. And then like I had to take myself away for a bit because it was fucking intense, and like I like wore my I think I laid down. I didn't sleep, but I let my brain like chill out for a bit, and then I finally had to embarrassingly come down the stairs and be like, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I sort of lost my fucking mind for a couple of hours. Thanks for like putting me to bed, and people were like checking in on me because obviously like what the fuck could happen? Do you know what I mean? Like if your mate's having a fucking episode, but like, yeah, it was. It's the only time I've actually spun out, but I am quite like visually, like I do visual trip like a lot, and I remember like years ago when I was young, like 20, this has happened more than once. So I had like hearts on my knickers, which I feel like I was too old to have hearts on my knickers at like 20, maybe older. But anyway, I remember I had heart prints on my knickers, which is mad if I'm going raving and like had a boyfriend that I had hearts on my knickers. Anyway,
I have hearts on my knickers now. Not right now, but like
I don't
in
know
life.
how I feel about grown-ups having hearts on their knickers. Basically, it was like cartoon hearts on my knickers.
Oh, okay, cartoon.
Yeah.
No.
See, that's
mine were lacy. Mine are lacy.
Yeah, no. This was not lacy. This was like 6-year-old girl pants, basically. And I remember looking down and all the hearts like bumping up, like jumping out of the pants, like hi. And then I remember I was obviously on the toilet, and then I looked up, and the toilet door handle, which was like an old-fashioned toilet door handle, was a face with a big nose, and the screws were the eyes, and the mouth was the keyhole, and it was like, hello. So I had the pants going, hello, and then the face going, hello, and me being like, hi guys, where have you been? How are you? Have you had a good day? Hasn't it been amazing? Meanwhile, I'm like hearing voices of like, I think it's like people that I know, like next to me, and then I realise when I come out, no one's in the cubicles, no one's around me, no one's there. It's pure silent. I've just been hearing fucking voices talking to heart pants and the fucking doorknob. But it's always been good. It's even when I was a spiritual witch, it wasn't anything really dark. It was just weird because I was so convinced. Yeah. But every time I've been tripping, really, it's always been good vibes. And I do say to myself sometimes, like, it's okay. You're just tripping. Enjoy it. Do you know?
Yeah, of course. There's always those moments, like even with the fire, it wasn't like, oh my God, we're going to die. It was more just like, no, but guys, there is a fire. I wasn't like,
I can see fire.
I can see
But you can see how people, if they had a bad trip, how dark it could be, because if you're convinced that something bad is happening, you know, that is, you can just see how horrible that could be.
Totally.
You know, and I'm fully aware that you can easily have a bad trip, and luckily for me, I've not had a bad one. But the spiritual witch was scary because I was convinced, whereas every other time I'm not convinced. I'm like, oh, I'm fucking tripping balls, man. So you can see how people can go a bit.
Yeah, totally. You are quite visual though, aren't you? You get quite a lot
very
of
much so. Like back in the day, I used to really hallucinate glasses on everyone, and like things like that. I remember one birthday I took bloody loads of things, and the next day or 2 days later, Pete told me that I was saying to everyone, God, look at these pigeons on the dance floor. Well, I don't remember that. But Ashley always tripped the same trip, which was, or not even tripped, hallucinated the same hallucination, which was that there was always stairs and banisters And I met another guy that I used to work with, and he used to see stairs in banisters as well.
Really?
And I go to lean on something, and it's not there in a club. It's not real. So apparently, quite a few people have that trip.
I just remember like when we were in Glastonbury a few years ago, when we all went, me, you, and Ashley, being like when it was Ben UFO, and we were like convinced that we were like, it felt like we were in a queue, but we were just on the dance floor, weren't we? But it felt so much like, me and Ashley were both like, I feel like we're like queuing to get in somewhere. We had this such strong feeling, and because it felt like the music was like, you know, like when you're outside of a club and you can hear the music, but it wasn't loud enough.
No, we worked out what happened there.
Yeah, well, it was
because
the K,
it happened to
wasn't
me the next night. You both took a big bump of K, and then it muffled all the sound, and you got confused, and you thought we were just in a queue, and you both couldn't hear it, even though the music was so loud. And you're like, we need to get to the front of this queue. We need to get to the front of this queue. I was like, it's not a queue. We're in the fucking, we can't really get any closer. It's fucking crisp and it's sound. And you're both going, I can't hear it. I can't hear it. It's so quiet. And you're going up to strangers going, can you hear this? And they're like, yeah, of course we fucking can. And then we didn't know what had happened. And then the next night, when we were at Arcadia, I did the same. We had that really strong K. And I did the same, and it ruined it for me because suddenly everything went muffled. Everything, I just felt bored almost because like everything went so muffled.
Yeah.
And it sort of like took away like the senses.
Yeah.
So it just became like quite like, what's the word, like sort of
disconnected, like in a bubble.
Disconnected. So like it's just like this sort of background noise, and then I was in a body of like people queuing.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, it's just happened to me. What happened to you last night? But what did I do? And then I was like, I fucking took a big bump. And then you're both like, oh yeah, we did a big bump before we went to see Ben UFO. That's what it was.
Totally.
But funny actually, because that Glastonbury, was it that Glastonbury? No, it was the next Glastonbury. I literally had an out of mind experience. I don't know if I've told you this before, but I had an out of mind experience. So basically, obviously fuck on everything you can ever imagine. It was like, I think it's like the last night. It's always laughing gas which tips me over the edge. That's why I don't really like it actually. It can take me too far. And on this occasion, I did a gas, and I swear to God, I started seeing like behind the walls of the Matrix, like everything became pixelated, almost like code-like. And it was like a computer game. I bet loads of people have experienced this, to be fair. I felt like whatever I was seeing, I shouldn't be seeing. And I swear to God, since that day, I've been pretty convinced that we are actually a simulation. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that's now what I believe more than anything else. I don't know if it is quite a simulation or what, but there's something electrical, like programming sort of vibes going on, and why we're on Earth, and that's a topic for another day. But I saw something that I feel like I shouldn't have seen, that my brain connected into or saw when I was fucking tripping.
Ooh.
And I came out of that gas and I said to Ashley, the first thing I said was like, fuck, I've just seen something I shouldn't see. We are computers. And he was like, huh? I think you might be right. But yeah, I actually was like, seriously, like, I think that was too far. I don't think I should have seen that. And that was fucked. I can't really explain it. Do you know what it's like? You can't really explain it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have these like epiphanies and stuff, but I felt like it was fucking mad what I saw, but it felt like, that's what we're here about. That's what we're here for.
Oh my God, we're just literally walking, talking codes, like
we're
avatars.
Talking codes, babe. Literally.
Like a projection. Woo.
Have you ever tried salvia?
Oh, don't even talk to me about salvia. Salvia is so dark.
Tell me, have you tried it?
Yeah. Have you not?
Oh my... No, I've never tried it. I always wanted to, because a guy told me this mad story about he once did it and he thought he was the hose on the side of a house, and he saw a family move in, have kids, grow up, move out, and he was just a sad hose on the side of the house.
No.
And that story was enough to make me say, I want to do it. But I've never done it, and I've missed the boat now. I don't think I will do it. Can you tell me about when you did it?
No, it's actually horrible. So, look how excited you look. Like, it was horrible. You're like, oh, really? Great. Let me hear about it. Yeah. No, basically.
What even is it?
You just smoke it like a joint. You just smoke it like a joint.
But is it a plant?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't really know much about like don't ask me about the science of it, but it was like we bought it online. I think it was legal. Probably, I don't know if it still is, but it was legal at the time at uni. One guy bought it. Cool, let's try this salvia business. So it would have been about 18, just got to uni.
You probably haven't actually tripped that much at that age.
No, I hadn't ever done any trips actually.
Yeah.
I'd taken pingers,
Which
but I'd
probably
never.
intensifies it as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it would have been my first quote unquote trip, but
Yeah.
it was quite short. But I'd done balloons. Obviously, I'd done a lot of balloons. So that
Yeah.
would have been that's kind of the closest I think I'd come. But
Right.
then basically, so went to the lake at uni, and we sat there, and so first of all, first guy does it, and he trips out, melts, and like just goes to another planet. And I'm like, whoa, okay. He's just like basically like passed out, and we're like, oh, okay.
Wait, is it in a bong or a spliff?
Let me think now. I think we smoked it as a spliff.
Okay.
I think it was a spliff. I think it was
Fuck,
literally a
is it that
strong.
strong?
Yeah, it's
It
really
is strong, isn't it? Yeah.
really strong. And then I watched my boyfriend at the time do it, and he thought that his whole arm was on fire. So he starts freaking out, slapping his arm, freaking out, like, fire, 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 like that. And I'm like, no, you're fine. Like that's what I mean. It was kind of like
What,
quite
after that you
dark.
thought, give me that joint, I want a bit of that.
I'm trying to remember remember the order of it.
This has gone so well so far. That looks fun. I'll have some.
I don't know, like, yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to think, maybe we all did it. I'm trying to think if we did it at once or what. But
Maybe you passed it round and kept passing it round or something.
I think it was something like that, because I
Yeah.
don't think if I saw those two, I would have gone, yeah, sign me up. I would
Yeah,
have
yeah,
been freaked
yeah,
out.
yeah.
So I think it was something
Yeah.
like that. Like maybe it was like a little circle, and then maybe only after a few tokes do you start to like go down, which sounds a little bit like DMT style almost, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, and so done that, and then I think I'm trying to really remember like my own personal trip. I actually think that I think I was a bit nervous and didn't do that much, because I think I remember like falling, like kind of being sucked to the ground and it being really intense and not liking it. But I think I didn't take it too far. Maybe because honestly, all I can remember is other people's trips now. And
Yeah.
now I'm thinking about it. So maybe I didn't. Maybe I was a bit cautious, because
Maybe
then
you saw them fucking freak out and think, nah.
yeah, maybe, because I'm thinking about it. It's like when I'm saying it's like dark and it's horrible, I'm like, I don't remember necessarily. I can't. My memory is a bit
You
shit.
just saw everybody else
But
go dark and horrible.
I just
yeah.
know because I saw that, and then
Yeah.
what I remember one guy, he smoked it, but this is where it's kind of fucked. Like, well, it's all fucked really, but his whole one side of his body went numb, and he was walking around in circles, saying he could only feel one side of his body, and was walking on the spot in circles, being like, I'm like numb on one side, and then was walking like a crazy person in circles until it wore off. And I was like, no, this is fucked. I think I only did it those 2 times. I think maybe on that same night. I can't remember, but yeah, that was it. And then I was like, nah, that's actually a step
Yeah,
too
well, that makes
far.
sense, because the reason why I've never done it is because I can never find someone to do it with. Because if you've done it once, you don't do it again.
Yeah.
So most people I know had like done it, and they'd be like, I'm not doing it ever again. So I'd be like, oh, please, we try it. And everyone's like, nah, fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again.
I wouldn't. It's just not worth it. You may as well do DMT, which I think has more of like a spiritual, like,
yeah, if you're gonna do it, I reckon. If you want some, well, they're different, aren't they? Completely different.
totally different. But if you want to trip and get out of this
Yeah.
universe, I would say something like DMT, which I think it has a truly spiritual and sort of like
I agree
more
with you.
grounded energy, I think, than like that.
Or ayahuasca. You've done ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, yeah. I mean, yeah, ayahuasca's not something to just maybe like, hey, should we do a bit? Although
Yeah, true. Yeah. Guys, I got the ayahuasca round. Want to have a bit?
Should we get the ayahuasca out? Should we call it in?
How was it when you did it?
Okay, so in a nutshell, in a big room, I'll just quickly summarize it. So in a room, like a kind of like hut with a Mayan traditional, not even Mayan, sorry, with a traditional indigenous tribe called the Huni Kuin tribe. And they are literally the descendants of the people that first ever invented, like created the elixir that became ayahuasca, that really actually discovered the power it had, from the border of Brazil and Peru in the Amazon, right? So the fucking OGs of ayahuasca, right?
Okay.
And so their descendants, they've come over to Guatemala, where I was at the time, to do this ceremony. And we're in this hut. There is a sort of hole, like a skylight at the top of it. And there's about 20 of us around in a circle. You've got a little bed, like a mat kind of thing, and a cushion. I've brought a cozy blanket, brought my teddy bear, got my journal, blah, blah, blah. You have to fast for about 7-8 hours beforehand. So by the time the ceremony is starting, you're quite hungry, but you're better to have an empty stomach because you're about to digest something very intense, right? Now, what they began with was something called rapé. Rapé is tobacco powder. They blow it up your nose with a big old horn, and like they make this noise like that, and it shoots up your nose. They blow it with their mouth through. Sometimes it's even like a real elephant tusk or something like I don't know, authentic, let's say, rather than like a bong or a pipe, you know.
Does it hurt?
Yes, it hurts, but then it's. I can talk about. Maybe I'll talk about another time, because it's quite like it's a whole lot. There's a whole topic with rapé. It's amazing, but it's not necessarily like trippy, but it has got these incredible properties that really connect you with your heart. I've actually had some amazing breakthroughs with it, but it's not something I turn to very often. But I would recommend it for more spiritual people. And then we did something called sananga.
Right.
And so we're edging closer towards when we're going to ingest the ayahuasca, which is a drink. But before we do that, we do the rapé. Okay, it hurts. Cool. But yeah, nothing trippy from that. Then we do sananga. Sananga is a pure liquid from a plant, which they drop with a droplet into your eyes.
Fuck.
Yes. And so imagine this now. You know, we were talking about a minute ago with the salvia, like, oh, if you saw them, you'd probably say no. Well, I was number 18 out of 20 in the circle, going clockwise. So, yes. So, like, I just watched this Mexican wave of terror coming towards me, because, like, the shaman, these tribe members, like, they're blessing you, and then they put it into your eyes, and all you hear is just sheer screams of like, ah!
No, but what's the screams for? Because people don't like eye drops, or
no, oh my god, no! It is so fucking painful.
Wait, no, tell me, what do you mean? There's people screaming?
It's so
because it
painful.
Started to take effect.
It's so painful. Basically,
it's painful. Yeah, because they don't like eye drops. Yeah, so it's because
no.
Wait, they're screaming because they're pain in their eye. They're not screaming because they're fucking tripping. No.
Oh no, they're not.
No, that's what I'm trying to get to. I don't mean eye drops. I mean it's physically hurting their eye. Yeah, it's not because they're like, this drug's not working. Or what,
I know. It's a medicine, not a drug.
Sorry.
That's okay. No.
Mustn't be disrespectful to the ayahuasca.
For anyone just listening, she's put her palms together and she's basically saying namaste.
Mix the cultures, why not? Right, so anyway, so it comes down to you. They put in your eye.
No, wait. Let me just say, it's so fucking funny. What's making me laugh is that you're saying, like, oh, it's because they don't like eye drops. Or, like, they're people that just don't, like... They have they just don't enjoy
what I meant
is
like because they don't like it in their eye.
It's just honestly, mate, nobody likes this in their eyes. It is so unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's right. But I'm just saying that's why they're screaming.
Yes. They're not screaming to some spirit, like because there's some demons.
Because they're like, wow, this stuff's amazing.
Or because it's not working. Anyway, what it is basically this plant is supposed to help you see clearly, both literally clear your eyes physically, but also spiritually, to kind of cleanse maybe like the lenses that we see the world through that are not helpful for us, right?
Yeah.
No pain, no gain and all that. So it comes around to me and I'm actually shitting myself. But I'm not a pussy. I'm going to do it, right? I'm here for a fucking one time only. You
paid a lot of money to be there, didn't you?
I did. It was about $350. So I was like, right, I'm going to do the ting, do all the tings. So like, I have it in my eyes and it's fucking painful. Like, and the thing is, they're saying you've got to keep your eyes open and look up to the light, but you can't. like, because you're trying so
Both
hard.
eyes or just one eye?
Both, one and then the
Right.
other. So you're
Okay,
blind,
okay.
but you're trying to look through and it hurts so much more when your eyes are open. But that's really the way that the medicine works.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we have the ayahuasca. The music begins. The guys are on the traditional instruments and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We take the liquid, the medicine, and basically the whole first night of the ceremony, actually it doesn't hit me. Basically I'm puking in a bucket, to be honest. Like there's no other way to say it. Like that is what's going on. I'm not really tripping, nothing's happening. One thing that happened though that was quite funny on this first ceremony, because I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm doing 2 ceremonies back to back. I'm doing a Friday and a Saturday night because I'm like,
Right.
I'm here now, may as well do both. So I'm basically, I'm there. I'm kind of in the moment. I'm trying to sing along to the music. Not much is happening. I'm feeling fucking nauseous as fuck. I notice there's a woman on the other side of the room who's not having a good time. She's crying and crying and crying. And yeah, she's just like beside herself. And she's got her eyes closed and she's in her moment. She's really going for it, right? Then I notice the guy next to me, he's got like a maraca kind of tambourine thing in his hand. And suddenly he starts crawling across the floor, like across through the offering in the middle, on his hands and knees, like a little dog, and goes up to the woman. And I'm like, what is he doing? And I think, I don't know if anyone else is like looking at this point, but I'm just like, am I tripping or is this actually happening? Suddenly, the whole room erupts because the woman obviously opens her eyes from her crazy trip and just sees someone in front of her face waving this tambourine in front of her face, and she screams the most spine curdling scream you've ever heard. Everyone stops, like everyone's like because she goes like that because she
God.
right. And he it was so bad. I was honestly, when you're like your stomach drops to your heart, or your heart drops to your stomach, because you're like, that went through my whole body. It was spine curdling. Anyway, he just like passes her the tambourine and then just sort of sheepishly drags his body along the ground back. And I was like, oh my God, there was just this like terrible, deathly silence, right? And then someone starts up with the guitar again. Dun, 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 dun. Like, okay, let's just keep going. Bear in mind, this is like a 9-hour ceremony, and this is like a couple hours in. It was crazy. Anyway, we did a sharing circle at the end. And of course, it comes round to her. And she's just like, oh my God, I was in a really bad trip about my husband, who was incredibly abusive. And I know it's not funny, but it is. And he suddenly she opens her eyes and there's a man in front of her. That looks like he's about to hit her with a tambourine. And she just said she thought it was him, like, but come back in. Oh my God. And this poor boy.
So his intention was what? Just to cheer her up with the tambourine? Why did he go over there?
Okay, basically with the music, I cannot tell you. With the music, it's like the only thing that can help you work the medicine through and like kind of like do it, because it's very intense on your body. So while I'm saying I'm not physically tripping, like mentally tripping, there's a lot going on in the body. It's very intense. You know how mushrooms come over you, and if it's strong, it's like your body sensory, very intense, or like acid or something. It's exactly like that. You have to breathe. You're taking big breaths. It's a lot, So it's impacting me, but I'm not like connecting with the stars. It's just like I'm having a really intense bodily experience. So what helps with that is to actually have some sort of shaker or instrument or something to connect with the music, because the music's designed to help you move through the journey of it, which is amazing. But she didn't have something, so I think in his mind he thought she needs a tool. She needs some help.
Bless
here.
him.
Yeah,
I see.
I know. Anyway, so he apologized. They hugged it out, and there was a real moment about that. But it was actually so funny.
I bet you were. I bet you're hoping that something funny would happen or something to.
Like, because I was going for it, to be honest. I was judging myself the whole time, like, why isn't it working? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, I was having all of that going on in my head. It wasn't a good time.
Right.
Anyway, round 2. So next day, I spoke with my friend. She's like, look, just gave me some guidance. I went in with a slightly different mindset. Went in anyway, blah blah blah. Sananga was better this time. I cried tears of joy. Well, I was already crying anyway because it was burning my eyes, but I felt I felt this whole body vibration this whole time. So I went in with a whole different mindset of like breathing through it and letting the eyes burn and really imagining it was cleansing my soul. And suddenly my entire body, fingers, toes, everywhere, head to toe was vibrating, like, but really nice vibrating, like not
Nice, okay.
sexual, but like
Yeah.
just a beautiful sensation. And I was like, this is feeling good. This is feeling different. Then ayahuasca, about 20 minutes in, I start to absolutely trip, like, but the most incredible, like, peaceful, just, I can't even explain it, like, the most incredible experience, both physically, mentally, spiritually, visually. So what I'm seeing visually is, and the entire world has gone fractal, which, you know, technically we are made of literally fractal pixels, colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole country has gone into fractal country. The whole country, the whole world around me has gone into like this fucking fractal world, pixelated, but like beautiful. You know what like a mandala is?
No.
Okay, like hexagon shapes that like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
okay,
that's
yeah.
what fractal is. It's like a hexagon constant,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
like when you look, see, exactly like when you look through a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah,
That the whole world was that.
yeah. Okay.
And it was absolutely stunning. But then what was interesting in is that, and this is why I feel quite, I mean, I already felt quite connected to the spiritual realm because I wouldn't have done something like that, I don't think, without that. But is that there was like this crazy feeling of like, one, the whole thing that you hear a lot about, like oneness. Like I was connected with everyone in the room.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like all these weird, like not being me, but like I didn't really feel anything in common with most of these people in this room before. Suddenly, it was like I tapped into this. Wow, we are all one. And I felt like super, like we were like a family and we were one connected, which was really cool. And I'm like, wow, actually, that's a really beautiful thing. And it was like, wow, I just had like all this crazy light, love to
Yeah,
pour
that's
out.
cool.
It was really amazing, but like it was like an internal feeling. And then what was amazing, and what I call this is like a love orgasm, because basically, again, I had that feeling of my entire body literally vibrating in the most amazing way. And it was like, I was just overwhelmed with like, I don't know, it sounds really cheesy, but like self-love, self-appreciation,
Yeah.
self-acceptance, actually. You know, how much time we spend and waste in our lives thinking we don't look good enough, we're not good enough, we don't, whatever it is, right? We're not good enough for whatever
Yeah.
reason. We don't fit in, like all of these things. It's like all of that literally melted away. And it was like hearing a voice, but the voice was like almost like my own knowing. It was, I don't know, it came
Right.
from like a sort of deeper place, like really like beautiful affirmations, actually. And
Nice.
while
Okay.
vibrating, while seeing the craziest fractal and just feeling like I have entered a space where we are just a pure soul, without
Wow.
all of the ego, without all of the bullshit
Wow.
that exists in this 3D
Is
world.
that what you hoped it would have done?
Yeah.
Is that what you were hoping for? Is that what you were expecting?
Yeah, I didn't know what the thing is. I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't done any
Right.
research. I just felt called to it, and it was like weirdly, it just came into my world, and like I had all these weird signs. Like I don't know, something told me about. I heard about ayahuasca, and then I'd never been on it because I thought I was like, oh, it's too scary. But then I kept getting these weird fucking signs. Like I'd walk into a bar, I'd chatting to a girl very briefly, and she'd be like, "Have you ever done ayahuasca?" And I'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like, oh, I just got
Yeah.
chills when I said that, because it was so random. It was like everywhere suddenly. And so I was like, right, I've got to do this. But yeah, I honestly, it was better. It was more than I anticipated. But the thing is, the first day I went in with like a really big intention of like basically trying to like cure like all of my childhood trauma from like, you know, having a tough
Right,
time with my
right.
brother and my little brother having autism and stuff like that. It was just too big. It was just like
Yeah,
too
yeah.
giant to try and
Yeah.
heal in a one night, you know?
Yeah.
So all I did with the second time, this was advice from my friend. She said, just come into it with the intention of I am willing to receive. That was it. So I wrote it on my arms. I am willing to receive. And just that change allowed me to enter like that portal and
It's
just receive
amazing.
what it had. Do you know what I mean? So it was
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
oh,
that's cool.
it was really nice.
Would you recommend it?
I would if it calls to you. I wouldn't say like go desperately seek. I mean, you could go seeking it, but if there's some part of you that's curious and it feels, actually that feels like something that I feel called to,
Yeah.
rather than, I just want to do another thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's when you should do it,
Yeah.
and like be open to signs to do it, is what I would say.
Yeah.
People often say it's something that calls you rather than like you go looking for it. That's kind of my
Yeah.
thought on it.
I feel
But
like
it is
that with like a lot of
amazing.
trippy experiences actually that I've had in my life. They've always sort of like found me rather than I've found them.
Totally. It's like the forced thing of like New Year's Eve or whatever. Anything you like really try and force is never as
Yeah.
good as those kind of
No.
organic experiences, is it?
No, it's never as good. I don't know if I would ever do it. I've probably got to a point now where I wouldn't, but back in the day I definitely would have, because the trippier hallucinogenic vibes were my cup of tea over
Yeah.
anything else. But now at this point in my life, I don't think I ever would really. I've
Mhm.
missed the boat
Mhm.
for it, and I think, I don't know, who knows, when I'm like 70 maybe I'll start getting on the
Yeah.
trippy drugs again, you know. But right now I can't see myself being able to let my brain go that free, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Oh, well, stuff to think about.
Yeah. Bit of a deep one, but I don't know, like it's
No, I
yeah.
enjoyed that. I like hearing about that. I know a lot of people are interested in ayahuasca, and I always find, the thing is, I always actually find like hearing people's trippy stories not that interesting, because they are a bit like dreams. Like when people tell me their dreams, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, they're boring, and trippy stories can often be like that. But when it's something like the one that Sarah told us, where it's funny and it's impacted other people, then I'm all pro hearing them. So if anybody else has got some funny trippy stories, send them in, because we'll have a giggle at them.
Are you saying that my ayahuasca story was boring?
No, 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 not at all. That's what I wanted to hear. That. No, it's interesting. So if anyone
Yeah.
else got any ayahuasca stories, share them with us as well, because that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Or Changa, DMT, like any of those. There's so many different
Yeah,
ones.
send them our way.
Bufo as well, the licking the frog. Have
Licking
you
the
heard
frog,
about
yeah.
yeah, have you heard about the one with what's it, Bufo, and then there's another one. Oh my god, I've forgotten it. But anyway, where you burn, what is that, Bufo? Anyway, but
Bit
you
far.
burn on like you make 3 like burns on the arm,
Oh
and then
yeah,
they put the frog poison on it, but
yeah,
it's
I've
meant to
seen
be
that.
like
Too
incredible.
far. If you're putting
You,
frog poison on burns on your arm, you're going too far. Same with needles. Never touch a needle, you know?
no, no. Yeah, needles are not
Never
the
touch a
one for
needle. Never
sure.
put frog's fucking spit on your arms through cuts in your fingers or something, you know? If
I
you're
know
doing that,
so.
guys, I'd say stop. You're going too far.
No, but if you go to Tulum or you go to anywhere like near where I've been living in Mexico, everyone's got those marks on their arms. Everyone. It's like very normal in the spiritual world. Yeah, I'm
Well,
not
I can
saying that you should
imagine.
do it, but it's very, very normal. I don't think I would do that. It's a bit much.
Anyway, I think we should wrap it up there. Thank you for that story. It's brilliant. Thank you, Sarah, for your story. Everybody else, we want to hear your stories too. So send them in to us at Crave the Rave Podcast. We're always happy to hear from you. Thanks for the feedback again, guys. And we'll catch you next time. Cheers.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.